Hi everyone. Today's company is SpaceX, and I have about 30 years experience in backend engineering.
Okay, Brady. Hello, Brady. My name is River, and I have.
Okay, so my name is Peggy, and I worked in Google for 5 years.
Okay, and I'm Leo, a backend engineer with 1 year's experience and in Python development.
Hi, TH. My name is Scolley, and I am 1.5 years engineer.
I've done some work in mostly C.
My name is Aaron, and I worked in SpaceX for 3 years.
I'm a C# backend developer with 6 months of experience.
It's Mark interview today, and the topic will be backend. The first part, we're going to do the job description. I will read it with you, and then we will announce 3 questions that we are going to have in the interview. So in Mark interview, interviewer will do the self-introduction first, and then the interviewee will do the self-introduction. Next part will be Q&A. You only choose one question that you want to answer. I will let you know what the question is, and interviewer asks the question, the interviewer answers. Next part will be feedback and discussion. So everyone get to share your opinion or some suggestion to no matter it's interviewer or interviewee. If you don't know what I'm talking about, here is the Chinese version. So feel free to look at it. And we also provide some template for you to introduce yourself. So if you don't know what to talk in the intro, then you can take a look at here. So everyone, are you ready? Let's get to the job description part. Let's read it together. So the same, we will have the company introduction first. SpaceX. I will invite some others to read the job description this time. Any volunteers that could guide us together with this JD? Anyone? How about Brady?
Hi everyone. Okay, so today's company is SpaceX, and we are seeking a talented junior backend developer to join us. And you will work with many different departments like front-end, PM, or QA, and you will build the application that is easily to scalable, reliable, and maintainable. It's no matter which language you are familiar with, all the technology will welcome. And the main responsibility of this job, you will be design, develop, and maintain backend web applications and collaborate with many other stakeholders. And you should write clean, efficient, and maintainable code, adhere to the best practice for the industry standard. And we have some basic requirements of this job. You should have a computer science degree in bachelor's and have extensive experience in backend and proficiency in any kind of backend languages. And the last is basic understanding of the algorithm, HTTP, and testing. And package is very well.
The salary is the highlight of the job description. So the salary will be 200,000 USD per year. So let's move to our interview questions. Like I said, topic will be backend. And first one is, what is RESTful API and how would you go about designing and implementing? Second one, can you explain the concept of HTTP and its method and how they are used in web development? Third, how do you handle errors and exceptions in your code? Can you give me an example of a challenging bug you have to debug and how you went about resolving it? Here are the 3 questions we're going to have in the interview, and you get to choose just one. Because we don't have any volunteer before the event, we got to choose or anyone you can sign in here if you want to be interviewer or interviewee. I will give you 1 minute to sign in this part. Bruce, can you put on the timer for 1 minute?
Okay, I'm ready.
We have Brady as the first round interviewer, and interviewee will be River. We have another 2 or 3 set, maybe, depends on time. If you're interested in this event, you just type down your name over here. And Miro, 30 seconds left. No one want to join, really? Then let's call it a day. Bye-bye. You guys will miss 200K per year. Well, I think we'll just get started first. introduce the role together. So interviewer will have 30 seconds to do the self-introduction and 2 minutes for interviewee. But no need to speak for the whole 2 minutes. You could either be like 1 minute or 1:30. It's up to you. And then interviewer will ask the question, interviewee will answer it. And the question is chosen by interviewee. Next part will be feedback and discussion. I already tied down the time limit at the front. First, interviewer will be Brady and interviewee will be River. So every others people that you get to type down your feedback, you could type down some memo like maybe they're great, you just type good, or if you have some grammar or technical knowledge that you have, you can also type it down here. So here's our feedback section. So River, we have 3 questions. Which one you want to answer?
I want to answer the first one.
The first one?
Yes.
Timer, please.
Hi, River. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I'm Brady Chen, and you could just call me Brady. I have about 30 years experience in backend engineering, and we are seeking a talented junior backend development, and I wish you have some basic knowledge about the backend development, like RESTful API or the knowledge of HTTP protocols. And now it's your turn. Tell me about yourself.
Okay, Brady. Hello, everybody. My name is River, and I have 10 years of backend developer, and now I'm trying to become a front-end engineer. So I want to interview with this job, and I want to answer. And yes, and I know a little front-end technique, and I'm mostly familiar with the backend, and now I'm using the Golang as the main programming language, and yeah, that's all.
Okay, so we could move on to the next part. I just saw you choose the questions about what is a RESTful API and how would you go about designing and implementing the RESTful API. Could you talk about it?
Yes. Okay. A RESTful API is called a type of service architecture that follows a set of constraints to create a scalable and interoperable web service. RESTful API use HTTP request to do the CRUD things, which is create, read, and update and delete, and is to HTTP request post, use post to create, and use get to read, and use put to update, and use delete to delete data. And these APIs are stateless, which means that the server don't store any session information about the client. When I design the RESTful API, I would first thing I would do will to recognize the resource, to identify the resources in the system, and like the objects in the systems or the resources in the system. And for example, if I build a e-commerce website, and my resource might be an order list, and products, and computer customers, and shopping carts. So, and I can use a get API to get orders, or use post to create an order. And next, and I will define the endpoint by each resources, and each resources should represent each URL should represent one of the endpoints, one of the resources. Okay, such as if we want to request a list of product, and the URL should be product slash to get the URL to get the resource from your domain, and after your domain will contact with the product as the resource name, and you will get a list of the product. And okay, so I will use the get to get, as I mentioned before just now. I will use get to get the product list, and and use posts to create product. But as a customer, we should not create the product, right? So there's some authentication control behind the API. Yes, and okay, that should be some steps to create a RESTful API.
Yeah, that's a really comprehensive answer, I guess. Maybe next time you could write down your examples when you answer it. I think that would be better to let other people to know more about what your example are.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Next one will be the feedback. We already typed down sound, and if anyone got some suggestion or a compliment or feedback, you could type it down here. I typed down fillers because usually when we're speaking and we don't know what to say or we're thinking about, we'll use probably no we will have some fillers. That is pretty normal. That I always have different kind of fillers. If you watch last video that I told so many times, it would be better that you fill it with a pause. You just stop for a few seconds. It's okay. I wonder who typed down this represent. Bruce, want to elaborate more? So what do you mean?
So sorry, I just noticed the pronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So maybe it's a word the reader need to notice that.
Too comprehensive to give a follow-up. I think that's a compliment. It's from Brady. And this one's from AC. I copy-paste over here. Really explain completely. That's a compliment as well. Thank you. Let's move to next pair. Will be me and Sheep. So Sheep, which question you want?
Okay, just a second question.
Okay, so my name is Peggy and I worked in Google for 5 years. We are interviewed for a backend engineer. So tell me something about yourself.
Okay, and I'm Leo, a backend engineer with a 1 year's experience and in Python development. And I have used some popular Python web framework like Django and Flex. And I experienced in designing and implementing scalable and efficient server-side applications. And I'm also proud to have achieved a ninth place at TDK, which is a famous robotic race that attracts people around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, then it's time for you to answer this question. Can you explain the concept of HTTP and its methods and how they are used in web development?
Let me think. Give me a second.
Take your time.
HTTP has a lot of methods like also known as a verb action. I don't know. It's like get, post, put, delete, ahead, and something else. And how should I answer that? I never explained.
It's okay. TH, are you available this time?
Sounds cool.
Scolley will be the interviewer and TH will be interviewee. Looking forward to it. Let me ask TH which questions you want to answer. We have 3 over here.
The RESTful API part.
Hey, Scolley, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Ready, go. Scolley should be the first one doing the short introduction.
Hi, TH. My name is Scolley, and I am 1.5 years engineer. 1.5 years software engineer, and my major is Enjoy, and my coding language is Kotlin. And how about you?
Me? I've done some work in mostly C because I was working in embedded system software for years. So I mostly coding with C, and I wrote a bit of Python, but it's for the verification of the system. Such as some of the digital hardware stuff. But I've also done some work in e-commerce system, such as I've done product searching function using a web framework XYZ, or the rational database EDC, or as well as the text search database like EFG, as well as the message queue. Yeah, that's pretty much everything about my experience. Thanks.
Since your experience is a lot, okay, I think this junior backend developer is not is not really for me, not match you, but I still will ask you a question.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this is the basic question for you, but I still want to ask you, what is a RESTful API and how would you get about designing and implementing one?
The API for two pieces of software running in different computer. The API provides a way of communication between the two computers. So one computer, which is client, under the client-server architecture, the one computer, which is client, could get resource managed by the other computer, which is server. And the concept of RESTful provides a set of rules, or you can say contract. It's a rule and contract you can follow when designing your API endpoint. So the contract includes the following stuff, such as allow me to kind of give a brief introduction about the rules. So the first one would be when you determine the path. I mean, because RESTful API is mostly applied to the web app. It's not strictly limited to HTTP protocol. So the first rule would be when you determine the path. Usually there is a path to the resource the client wants to access. So when determining the path, it's better to represent the resource within the node. And similarly, when you need to determine a path to some specific or some complicated or isolated operations, it's better to use the verb to represent the specific complicated operations. I'll give examples later if you want to know more about that. The third rule would be, by the way, the goal of the two rules, as I mentioned earlier, the goal of the two rules is for the front-end client, because when you define the path to the resource clearly, then your client will know what they are doing and as well as what to expect. Right? The third rule would be ensure the implementation matches the HTTP method. There are also some of the rules, and you also need to care about something called item. I'm not sure if my pronunciation is correct. It's called item potency, which means your backend need to care about. You need to handle the concurrent request in order to avoid the front-end client from sending a multiple request to the same resource. And finally, the rule is about version, which means there would be different versions of the API endpoint. So as the application development goes, you may need to handle the changing requirements of the application or service. So versioning in API design could help you to clarify which version of the API provides which function, which features.
Sorry to interrupt, but time's up. Scolley, anything you want to say?
Thank you to explain, but it's too comprehensive, and maybe I forgot to notice your time is up.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, I should keep it short. Okay.
Yes. And my suggestion is maybe just for me it's too long. Maybe you can give a really short or easily to understand answer. This is my feedback. Thank you to explain.
So make it shorter and very easy to understand. And only one I have is the pronunciation of Don. D-O-N-E should be pronounced as Don. And it's pretty clear. It's a bit long, but I think in the real life situation, it's probably not so long. It depends on the question to answer. And the other feedback will be so good at keep explaining. Yeah, you are so good at it. If you got any suggestion or questions or opinions, Don. Yeah. It sounds like Don. I don't know if you guys are joking or you're actually saying something different. It's okay. Let's move to our next player. Any volunteer who want to be the interviewer? Then it will be me. So Rick, are you ready?
Yep.
Which question do you want to answer?
The second one.
Second one, HTTP one. Sure. Do my intro first, and then we can begin. Timer, please. My name is Aaron, and I worked in SpaceX for 3 years, Google 2 years, and we are hiring a backend engineer. Can you tell me something about yourself?
Okay, sure. My name's Rick. I'm a C# backend developer with 6 months of experience, and I'm excited to apply for the junior backend engineer position at SpaceX. With my experience in designing, developing, and maintaining robust backend web applications, I'm confident that I can contribute to the success of your team.
Okay, thank you for your intro. Oh, that's amazing. And it's time for you to answer the question.
Yep. So the question, I will explain the concept of HTTP and its methods and how they are used in web development. So HTTP is the foundation of communication on the World Wide Web. It is a set of rules for transferring data over the internet, and it forms the basis of how web browser and server interact with each other. HTTP operates on client-server model, where a client, usually the web browser, makes a request to the server for some resource, such as a web page or image. The server responds with the requested resource or an error message. HTTP methods are also known as verbs. They are used to specify the type of actions that a client wants to perform. The most common used HTTP methods are get and post, and they're also put, delete, and patch. In web development, HTTP methods are used to create, read, update, and delete data in web applications. So it's commonly used in RESTful API, which allow applications to communicate with each other over the internet. So that's my answer.
Wow.
I think you should be the interviewer. Thanks for answering me so fluently, and you'll be the one we're hiring.
Thank you.
Thank you. 压力山大. Yeah, interviewer is so pressured on right now. Okay, so everyone, you got any feedback? I just think it's good. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a suggestion. It can also be compliment. Please join us. Yeah, please join Software English Corner. Can I do a short interview? Now we still got a few minutes. What's Rick's background? The real one. Can you introduce
Okay, the real one?
Again. Yeah, the real one.
Okay, I'm a solution architect, and then I do C# for maybe more than 10 years. So I'm based in Australia, and yeah, that's it.
So how many years that you worked in Australia, or 10 years?
More than 10 years, yes.
Ooh.
So I'm a bit old.
What? Actually, it doesn't sound very old. Probably
Okay,
just 30 something, but not so old for me.
Yeah, I'm 30 something.
Solution architect.
Yes, solution architect.
I don't know the position very well. What is it?
Okay, so I look after the architecture, cloud architecture of the company. So I have to make sure the servers work and all the networks are connected and all the servers are up and running. And yeah, pretty much it.
Thank you. Yeah, please do join us more. You could be the interviewer that gives everyone some feedback, some suggestion, because you have so many experiences. Your English is amazing.
Okay, I'll try my best because it's quite late here.
Oh yeah. I forgot the time zone is different.
Yeah, that's okay.
Thank you.
I'll try my best to join you guys when I have time.
Sure, good to know. And Ellen is here too. So time zone is nothing. Thank you. Let's move to our... Thanks everyone for joining Software English Corners event, and we will see you on Monday. Every Monday, 10 to 11 p.m. Happy to see you soon. And I really want to say something. Now, last time is give yourself an applause. This time is be proud of yourself that no matter you did a great job or did a bad job, it doesn't matter. You just keep practicing. Okay, so it's time for you to give yourself an applause. Go. Use the emoji. So everyone, you did a great job. Hope to see you next Monday. Bye bye.
感谢大家观看，我是水球潘。水球软体学院是全民成长型的新形态软体社群，这里每个人都很充实、欢乐和友善，而且每天晚上我们都有线上的聚会哦。所以赶紧从影片下方的讯息区点击连结，加入我们的脸书社团和 Discord 伺服器，赶快加入我们吧，我们都在这里等你哦。另外，水球软体学院的精华影片之后都会上传到这个水球软体学院的 YouTube 频道中，请各位也订阅一下水球软体学院的 YouTube 频道吧。那我们就下一次聚会中再见了。